Welcome back to Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University. The final game of 4 here today as the Bountiful Braves, the defending 4A state champions, will put to defense that state championship from last year. Every year, of course, is a new season, but for Bountiful, looking to try to see if they can live to play another day and get a matchup with the Woods Cross Wildcats. The Skyline Eagles trying to work their way out of it as well to live to survive another day, as this should be quite the ball game between the Bountiful Braves, who come in at 17-10, and the Skyline Eagles, who come in at 18-8. We are just about getting ready to go for first pitch. Warm-up tosses have just completed. Let's give you the starting lineup first for the visiting Bountiful Braves. Leading off in left field will be number 5, Jaron Williams. Batting second will be the shortstop, Spencer Gleave. The pitcher, Parker DePasquale, will hit in the 3 spot. Right fielder, TJ Bernard, will hit in the 4 spot. Brady Christensen will start in center field. He'll hit 5th. Sam Stringfellow will hit 6th and be at first base. Caden Simmons, the catcher, will hit 7th. Ben Fowers, the third baseman, will hit 8th. And Hayden Jung will round out the order and bat 9th for the Bountiful Braves. Coming in number 2 out of Region 6. Finishing in that runner-up spot to the Woods Cross Wildcats. First pitch is underway, and it's popped up. Hit on the infield. There is Coleman, and he will make the catch for the first out of the ball game. And 1 pitch and 1 away here in the first inning. Defensively for the Skyline Eagles in the outfield, Dimitri Sacalario will be in left field. In center field, Riley Hennings. In right field, Nick Scott. On the infield, it will be Ange Bourgois will be at third base. Abe Yagi will be at short. At second base, it will be Brock Kennick. Over at first, Ryan Coleman, as the first pitch to Spencer Gleave is taken high for the ball. Jake Dobecki will do the catching tonight for Skyline. And on the mound, it's the right-hander, Sam Chapman, as he's ready to go with the 1-0 pitch. And that one low for a ball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes on Spencer Gleave. So settle in, get ready to go. It's just approaching 8 o'clock here in Utah County and here at Utah Valley University. And the 2-0 pitch is swung on by Gleave in line foul. Game time temperature 57 degrees. Wind out of the north at 7 miles an hour. So 2 balls and 1 strike the count here on Spencer Gleave as he'll step back into the batter's box here. Gleave will start at shortstop for the Bountiful Braves. The 2-1 pitch, the delivery comes home, breaking ball, swung on, grounded to second. Kinnick is there, his throw to first in time for the second out of the inning. And 2 up, 2 down so far for Sam Chapman and the Skyline Eagles. So with 2 outs, that will bring up the pitcher for the Bountiful Braves, as it will be Parker DePasquale will come up. DePasquale pitched a very good game last year in that state championship win over the Spanish Fork Dons, as the first pitch bounces in for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. But it's a new season, and right now the Bountiful Braves are just trying to survive to play another game in just a little over 12 hours from now. That game, if they win, would be an 11 a.m. first pitch. 1-0 pitch coming home, and that pitch is in at the knees for a called strike, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike on Parker DePasquale. Sam Chapman ready to go on the mound. He winds and delivers home. Breaking ball. That one misses low and away for a ball. And it's 2 balls and a strike here as lights begin to take a little more effect here at Brent Brown Ballpark. You can start to see some of the traffic off University Parkway. And you can kind of start to see some of those headlights as it makes their way towards I-15. 2-1 pitch. That one misses low and away, ball 3. And it's 3 balls and a strike to count on Parker DePasquale. DePasquale takes a step out of the box, now comes back in. And the 3-1 pitch on its way. Swung on, that ball's crushed. Deep to left field, Sacalario watches it fly, fly, fly away. It's a 1-0 lead for the Bountiful Braves. It's kind of been a theme of the day to have pitchers help their own cause, And Parker DePasquale does there as he put that one deep out onto the berm in left field. In fact, that almost didn't come too far from completely leaving Brent Brown Ballpark. That ball was crushed. And with 2 outs now, it's going to bring up TJ Bernard. So not a bad visit there by Jake Dobecki to go out and have a quick word with Sam Chapman and make sure he's understanding of what needs to happen. First pitch on its way is a high breaking ball to Bernard, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Bountiful in the red tops and the gray pants. Skyline in the all-home white uniforms tonight. 1 ball and no strikes the count. The kick and the delivery comes, a breaking ball that sits on the inside corner, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Sam Chapman on the mound, the right-hander, working here from the windup, and the 1-1 pitch comes, swung on and missed by Bernard. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes the count on TJ Bernard. Ready to go, set, working here from the windup. Chapman looks in, kind of shakes off some signs, and then time called by Bernard. The final game of the first day of the state tournament. 4 more tomorrow here from Brent Brown Ballpark. The 1-2 pitch. That one low, ball 2, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes on TJ Bernard. Brady Christensen in the on-deck circle. The 2-2 pitch, the kick and the delivery, breaking ball swung on line into right center field for a base hit. That's going to go out and towards right center field. Scott cuts it off quickly, makes a good throw in on a hop into Tyler Yagi at short. But a 2-out single comes here, back-to-back hits for the Bountiful Braves. They have the bats going early as Brady Christensen comes to the plate. Christensen will stand in here from the right side of the plate. Working over up first is TJ Bernard. And Christensen takes the first pitch. That one's going to kick away from Dobecki. And going down to second base is TJ Bernard. So Bernard with some heads-up base running there. The minute that ball was in the dirt, he moves up 90 feet, and now he's in scoring position here with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Christensen stands in, a little bit of an open stance in the batter's box, and the 1-0 pitch on its way. There's a high fastball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. They count now on Brady Christensen. Sam Stringfellow in the on-deck circle for Bountiful. 1-0 Braves on a Parker DePasquale home run. A breaking ball, and that one missed low, ball 3, and it's 3 balls and no strikes on Brady Christensen. Ready to go here from the stretch. Chapman kicks and delivers that one in there at the knees for a called strike. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike to count here on Brady Christensen. Outfield going to play pretty regular depth for the Skyline Eagles here. Sam Chapman trying to get out of this first. The 3-1 pitch on its way, swung on, popped up. That one's going to, Dobecki tried to give it a look, but it's well foul, and we'll have a 3-2 pitch coming here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. As our home plate umpire, Joe Sisson, needed some new baseballs. Joe Sisson behind the home plate tonight. Trent Allred on the base paths. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Working here from the stretch. Chapman takes a look at second and comes home. 3-2 pitch. Christensen gets the bat head out there and fouls it away. And the count will go back to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0 Braves, top of the first inning. The 3-2 pitch about to come home. The kick and the delivery is swung on. That ball's grounded over to third. Fielded cleanly. The throw across the diamond is in time, and the top of the first inning comes to an end. But the damage is done, and Parker DePasquale gives himself the lead as he takes the hill in the bottom of the first inning. A solo home run at the end of the top of the first. It's the Bountiful Braves 1, the Skyline Eagles 0. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
walk down first base. So we had a kid hit a home run that played at Texas. His brother, his older brother, played on the team with me at the Texas Youth Family. Hit the home run going in right field. His brother following, then sent back to the fastball to the head. They don't mess around in the South. Should have got the nachos.
Bottom half of the first inning starting here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, the site of the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament. And in this elimination game, the Bountiful Braves have an early 1-0 lead thanks to a solo home run by the starting pitcher Parker DePasquale, as DePasquale will go to work now on the other side. He'll be on the mound for the Bountiful Braves. And we'll get set here and give you the starting lineup for the Skyline Eagles, but Dimitri Sacalario will step in and lead it off. Sacalario had to just kind of turn and watch DePasquale's home run in the top half of the inning. There he watches a fastball come across for a called strike. No balls and a strike on Sacalario. Sacalario, pretty even stance in the box. The 0-1 pitch, that one just off the plate for a ball. And the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. Sacalario will stand in. DePasquale working here from the stretch. Kicks and delivers. That pitch swung on and missed. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Sacalario will stand back in. The 1-2 pitch, the kick and the delivery comes. That pitch is kind of fought off into center field. Getting back on it is Brady Christensen. He'll make the play for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. So just a easy fly ball out gets us the first out of the bottom of the first inning. Ange Bourgeois going to come to the plate here. Let's give you the Skyline Eagles lineup. Dimitri Sacalario leads off. Then Ange Bourgeois will hit in the 2 spot. He'll be at third base. Abe Yagi will hit in the 3rd spot, followed by Riley Hennings hitting cleanup. Jake Dobecki 5th. Nick Scott will hit 6th as the first pitch to Bourgeois is swung on and fouled away. Ryan Coleman, the first baseman, hit 7th. Hunter Wack will hit in the 8th spot, and Brock Kennick at second base rounds out the order. Sam Chapman, of course, on the mound, not hitting in the lineup tonight. No balls and a strike here on Bourgeois. The 0-1 pitch is swung on. That one's hit the other way, but it's going to be fouled away, and it'll be no balls and 2 strikes as Bourgeois got a good piece of that one, but just put it down into the bullpen area here. The bullpen sit on the playing field here at Brent Brown Ballpark, just down that third base line, and there's another one down the first base line here. No balls and 2 strikes the count. DePasquale kicks and comes home. That one misses away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bourgeois gets ready, steps in the box, and the 1-2 pitch. That one off the plate for a ball, and it evens the count up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes the count on Ange Bourgeois. The kick and the delivery comes home. That ball is going to be hit well to left field. Getting back on it is Jaron Williams. He's there, and he'll make the play, and there's 2 outs here in the first inning. So just a couple of fly balls to the outfield so far against Parker DePasquale as Abe Yagi will come to the plate. Yagi gets the start at shortstop for the Skyline Eagles. Has had one of those years. Last year he was a key contributor on the Skyline team that advanced here in the state tournament. Kind of the same result, lost in one of their early round games, and then down here in the bottom part of the bracket, was able to stay alive for a day or so, as Yagi's going to fight that one off into center field. That's going to fall in front of Brady Christensen. So a 2-out single here for Abe Yagi keeps the inning going for Riley Hennings, as that was one that just kind of got on the inside part of Abe Yagi's bat, and he just was able to somehow just kind of fight it off into center field, and Brady Christensen charged but just couldn't quite get there. So with 2 outs, Riley Hennings will come up. Hennings wears number 12, hitting from that right side. And the first pitch from DePasquale is in there for a called strike, 0-1. DePasquale with kind of a, I don't want to say a lurky, jerky motion, but kind of maybe a more difficult motion to pick up on as a hitter, because he brings that baseball back and kind of hides it and then comes forward. No balls and a strike to count on Hennings. And the 0-1 pitch is low for a ball, and that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hennings to stand in, hitting that cleanup spot for the Skyline Eagles. Trying to get back in this one, try to tie this ball game up. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. Hennings took a big cut there, and I think he made contact with it because he could kind of tell it redirected, but I think it just went right off the chest protector and went foul. So a new baseball will be delivered out to Parker DePasquale as our home plate umpire takes a look at the baseball. Now he'll roll it over to the Skyline dugout. We'll have a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Riley Hennings. Parker DePasquale looking to try to get out of this inning. DePasquale from the stretch. Throws over to first, back standing. A quick swipe tag by Sam Stringfellow over to first. And boy, another split second, and they might have had him at first base. Yagi with a big lead at first. Time called here by Hennings, and he'll take a step out of the box. Winner advances. They play bright and early tomorrow, 11 a.m. first pitch. Similar schedule to today. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Parker DePasquale gets his first strikeout of the night, and the first inning comes to an end. So the difference in the ball game is a Parker DePasquale home run at the end of 1. It's the Bountiful Braves 1, the Skyline Eagles 0. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. Sam Stringfellow to step in and lead it off. It will be Stringfellow, Caden Simmons, and then Ben Fowers, 6, 7, and 8 coming up for the Bountiful Braves. Stringfellow stands in, and he gets the first pitch, a breaking ball. It stays high right around his shoulders for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Bountiful 1, Skyline 0. Back to work goes the right-hander Sam Chapman as he kicks and comes home. And there's a breaking ball that's blocked in the dirt by Dobecki. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to count. Still going to have a little bit, probably another 20, maybe 30 minutes of daylight at the most. But nightfall is going to fall upon us soon as there's a called strike in there to Stringfellow. And it's 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch, the delivery comes home, and Stringfellow takes a hack and comes up empty. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of maybe chased one that might have been a little bit out of the zone, but the count goes to 2-2. The right-hander winds, kicks, and delivers. Breaking ball, low and away, ball 3, and the count runs full here on Sam Stringfellow. Stringfellow takes a quick step out of the batter's box, now comes set. The 3-2 pitch. That one called, strike 3 on the inside corner. Stringfellow started heading towards first base, And then the strike 3 call came, the first strikeout for Chapman on the night, the first out of the second inning. And here comes catcher Caden Simmons. That's one thing umpires don't typically like. The hitter, quote, showing him up is kind of the definition around baseball. They don't really like the hitter saying, nope, that was a ball. And we saw that in the game before as that pitch came on the pitch away for a ball. In the Woods Cross Judge Memorial game, a hitter tossed the bat, took about 4 steps, and then the strike call came. The 1-0 pitch on its way home, and that sits right on the outside corner, and the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike here on Caden Simmons. One pitch. That ball is hit into center field. Coming in, charging quickly, but it's going to fall right in front of Hennings. And on with a single here is Caden Simmons. So not the hardest hit baseball there, but if that's hit any harder, it's going to hold up for Riley Hennings to run under. And with 1 out, runners on base, and here comes Ben Fowers. Sometimes there is such thing as hitting the baseball too hard. It's kind of a weird concept, I know. But you can hit them a little too hard sometimes, and they just stay right up there. So with 1 out, Ben Fowers stands in. The runner gets his lead over at first. The pitch comes in, and that one in there for a called strike at the knees, and it's 0-1 to Fowers. No balls and 1 strike to count. Caden Simmons gets his lead over at first. The right-hander on the mound, Sam Chapman, kicks and comes home. Breaking ball. Good block in the dirt there by Jake Dobecki. But it's low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Bountiful in the red tops, gray pants. Skyline in the all-white. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pickoff move. Diving back safely underneath the tag is Caden Simmons, the runner over at first base. In the on-deck circle is Hayden Jung, and then we'll go back to the top of the lineup. For Bountiful, the 1-1 pitch coming home. That pitch running with the pitch, and he popped it up. Is it in play? Is it going to be foul? A long run. It's going to be foul there. So Caden Simmons was off with the pitch, and he got halfway towards second base when the ball was just popped up, and he had to turn around and try to run it down. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Ben Fowers will step back in the box. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Fowers, the starting third baseman for Bountiful. And the pickoff move, diving back, scrambling and getting back under the tag there was Caden Simmons. As Ben Fowers will get ready to go once again here, steps back in the box. 1 ball and 2 strikes here with 1 out in the top of the second inning. The right-hander sets, ready to go, and delivers. Breaking ball, taken a low and away. Good throw down. The ball's going to get past the second baseman into center field. Coming up is Hennings. Here's his throw. It gets above him and off the railing of the dugout there, and getting to third was Caden Simmons. That's got to be, I would think, an error on the throw down to second, but we'll see here. It was a good throw from Riley Hennings into third. It just kind of overshot him. I mean, really a great throw, but it just got past Bourgeois at third base.
It was a really good throw.
So Fowler stands in now with 1 out and the runner 90 feet away. A fly ball to the outfield here should be deep enough to get Simmons home. The pitch on its way, that one misses off the plate, ball 3, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ben Fowers. So Fowers working the count here, trying to see what kind of pitch he might get here 3-2. You would think they'd probably have to go back to the fastball if you're Sam Chapman. 3-2 pitch on its way. That one's low, ball 4, and Fowers draws himself a free pass. So he worked his way back in the count, and now Hayden Jung's going to come to the plate. They'll have a conference on the mound between Bourgeois at third base, and also it will be Jake Dobecki behind home plate heading out to the mound. And now joining them on the pitcher's mound is going to be Ryan Coleman, as Bountiful has runners on the corners here with 1 out in the second inning. The Braves looking to try to jump out on the early lead, as Hayden Jung will come to the plate. And it's often one of those times as a hitter where you want to try to do, you just don't want to try to do too much here. You don't necessarily need a ball in the gap here that clears the bases, but if you can just get that sacrifice fly to the outfield, it can make a big difference. We saw Cade Polson from Maple Mountain actually do that earlier in the day. Back in the first game, he had that third inning sacrifice fly that gave the Golden Eagles the 1-0 lead. That pitch is going to get to the backstop, putting his head down and scoring from third base is going to be Caden Simmons. It's 2-0 Bountiful. The snap throw down to second, and diving back is Fowers. That ball just got past Dobecki to the backstop and just gave everyone a free base, and we're going to have a visit out to the mound here now by one of the Skyline coaches. And it's one of those things when your season's on the line. We saw Trevor Amicone and Woods Cross do that when it was their starting pitcher, Alex Johnson, just started to struggle. He pulled him in the third, and then all of a sudden makes the pitching change and goes down to Jordan Lewis, and Lewis comes in and just shuts down the bats for Judge Memorial. And so it's just one of those situations where when your season's on the line, there's not going to be a lot of tolerance, I don't think. If a pitcher begins to struggle, you're going to pull them and put somebody in there who can get the job done. You don't want to think, it's hard because you do have to kind of, I think, have a plan, and this might be where my theory kind of lingers from most coaches, but I think you have to have a plan to say, what if this happens? What if, who do we throw tomorrow if we win? Who do we, but I think at the same time, you have to have enough of a mentality to know, hey, we have to at least win this one to even think about tomorrow. So it's kind of an interesting combination. Anyway, I'll jump off my soapbox now as the game gets ready to resume, as Hayden Jung steps in the box, turning and throwing, snap throw back to second base with Sam Chapman, and they get Fowers back to the bag. 1 ball, no strikes, the count on Hayden Jung. Jaron Williams in the top of the Bountiful lineup on deck. 1-0 pitch, breaking ball, that misses high. It's ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Jung wears number 29, starting at second base. Running on at second base, Fowers. That pitch comes in. Jung took a big cut, came up empty. It's 2 balls and a strike. Got a pretty good pitch. It was down the middle of the plate, took a nice cut, but just couldn't quite catch up to it.
You all right? Yeah. You'll see.
2 balls and a strike, working here from the stretch. Runner gets his lead, and the 2-1 pitch about to come home. Jung delivers. That pitch low in the dirt, ball 3. Dobecki does a nice job there of making sure that doesn't get to the backstop. Got that glove right down on the dirt to make sure that he would keep that ball in front of him. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. The right-hander on the mound, ready to go. Checks the runner at second. Chapman delivers home the 3-1 pitch. That one's over for a called strike, and the count goes full 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the second inning. 1 run in here in the inning for Bountiful. The 3-2 pitch on its way. That one's high, ball 4, and Hayden Jung is on. Back-to-back walks given up here by Sam Chapman. And now a couple of men on for the top of the lineup, and Jaron Williams. Williams 0 for 1. He popped out to the first baseman, Ryan Coleman, to start the ball game for Bountiful. Steps in here from the right side. Sam Chapman, the right-hander, takes a look over at first base. Now checks the runner at second. Pitch comes in, and that one's off the plate for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. As going back to the fastball there was Sam Chapman. Running on at second base is Ben Fowers. Hayden Jung, the runner, will be at first base. Runners get their lead. Sam Chapman gets the sign in from Dobecki behind home plate. The 1-0 pitch on its way home, and there's a pitch down the middle for a called strike. And the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield playing pretty straight away. Sacalario in left field, kind of playing maybe a little more closer towards the line, but a big hole sitting out there in right and left center field. That ball blocked in the dirt by Dobecki. Runners will have to hold, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Dobecki, since that one got to the backstop, has done a great job of keeping the balls in front of him.
Oh, hey, Coach Mo, what's up? How are you?
Good.
So 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Runners get their lead, and the 2-1 pitch is over for a called strike, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. And so 2 balls and 2 strikes the count here on Jaron Williams. The 2-2 pitch coming home, and there's a called strike 3 on the outside corner, and there's 2 outs. So a big strikeout there if you are a huge strikeout. If you're Sam Chapman, that's his second strikeout of the ball game, second out of the inning. And now Spencer Gleave comes to the plate. Gleave on the day is 0 for 1, grounded out to second. Runners get their lead here with 2 outs. And the first pitch on its way home to Gleave. Breaking ball, that one sits right on the outside corner for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Parker DePasquale in the on-deck circle, who hit the home run in the first. He would love to get up here in the inning with the bases full. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Checks the runner, comes home, and that pitch right on the outside corner for a called strike. And the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gleave gets his lead out there. Gleave gets in the batter's box as the 1-2 pitch comes home. Breaking ball, that one low and away. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. The count now on Spencer Gleave. Ben Fowers, the runner out on second base. Hayden Jung, the runner on at first. 2 balls and a strike to count. Ready to go. The right-hander comes home, and Gleave swings and fouls that one down the line. And the count evens now at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down here in the top of the second inning. Bountiful with 2 runs on 3 hits. One of the runs coming in to score on a pass ball here in the inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Runners get their lead. Set, ready to go. Chapman kicks and delivers. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Called strike 3. Sam Chapman strikes out the side here in the second, but 1 run does come in to score. We head to the bottom of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. It's the Bountiful Braves 1, the Skyline Eagles 0. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Back to quality customer service. When you drive in, they come running. Let's Swap, they want and welcome your business. Fans, don't forget refuel supplements to delicious flavors. Something good in your body. Sugarcane rich supplements that can foster in protein for muscle growth, electrolytes to rehydrate, and vitamins and minerals to build strong bones. And enjoying low-fat cocoa milk is an easy way to help you get the 3 servings of dairy you need every day.
Bottom of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Skyline coming up here. Trailing right now 2-0 as catcher Jake Dobecki will step up to lead it off. It'll be Jake Dobecki, Nick Scott, and Ryan Coleman, 5, 6, and 7, coming up here for the Skyline Eagles here in the bottom of the second inning. DePasquale sets, comes home, and misses low and away with the ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Parker DePasquale back onto the mound. Did allow a single in the first, but that run didn't come around, so that one comes high and tight for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count on Jake Dobecki. DePasquale set, ready to go. The 2-0 pitch. Dobecki swings and fouls that one away, and it'll be 2 balls and a strike now. The Skyline Eagles on the season have gotten to this point in the tournament. Skyline actually started their season with playing 2 games with Woods Cross back on March 7th. That one swung on and popped up. and that's going to go foul. Both of those games went in favor of the Wildcats. Both one-run ball games. Woods Cross coming out with a 7-6 victory and a 9-8 victory. They would then go down to the Snow Canyon Classic where they lose to Mountain Crest 8-0. Mountain Crest, a team that we'll see tomorrow, before beating Weber, West High, and losing to Snow Canyon. The 2-2 pitch is going to be swung on, hit well by Dobecki to left field. Going back, it's going to one off the wall. Dobecki makes the turnaround first. He's heading into second, and he'll be there standing up with a leadoff double. And Skyline's got something going here in the second inning with the leadoff double. Just a hard hit ball, hit to one of the more kind of deeper part, not really deeper part of the park, but put in a spot there down in that corner where Jaron Williams had to run back because Williams was playing maybe a step or two in, and ball just went right up over his head. Nobody out. Here's Nick Scott. Parker DePasquale kicks and comes home, and Scott takes that one high and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Kind of an up and down season. Skyline then got into their region play and then played really well to start the region play. That ball's hit off into left center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Dobecki's going to get the green light around third. He will score, and Skyline scored their first run. It's 2-1 Bountiful. An RBI single there for Nick Scott. Here comes Ryan Coleman, and that was a ball that, again, just because kind of hit out into no man's land, and Bountiful tried. Spencer Gleave was running out. Jaron Williams was running in. Brady Christensen as well, but nobody could get there. Nobody out, and Ryan Coleman stands in. He tries to bunt and fouls it straight back to the screen. No balls and 1 strike to count. Winner of this one gets the Woods Cross Wildcats at 11 a.m. That will be, if it's Bountiful, it's going to be a rematch of a couple, well, both teams have actually played here. Bountiful and also Skyline have both played the Wildcats earlier on in the season. The 1-1 pitch about to come home, and that one comes high and tight. Ducking out of the way was Coleman, as it will move the count to 2 balls and a strike. Skyline suffered a 5-4 loss to Corner Canyon, but they were on a roll to start their region play. Lost the game to Corner Canyon, then won about 3 more, and then lost to Mountain View. And then they came back to, they got beat by Murray back in late April, 16-0. The runner goes there as that one's over for a strike, and taking second base with no contest is Nick Scott. So Scott moves up on the stolen base, and now the tying run for Skyline is sitting in scoring position. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Coleman sets from the right side, and DePasquale comes home. Swung on and missed, strike 3, as Ryan Coleman went fishing, and he came up empty. So with 1 out, Hunter Wack's going to come to the plate. Wack will be the designated hitter today, wearing the number 00. He'll hit from the left side of the plate here with 1 away. DePasquale trying to work out of this with a 1 Skyline run in, and the other one waiting out on the base pass. Pitch comes in, that one misses away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. In the postseason, Skyline started with a 11-8 win over Maple Mountain. That took place last Tuesday, and then they lost to Mountain Crest 9-6 to get into the 1-loss bracket. That one's popped up. Spencer Gleave going out. He's going to reach up and make the play, and there's 2 outs here in the second. So Gleave had to just kind of run out, reached up over his shoulder, and was able to make the play. And with 2 outs, it's going to be Brock Kennick, the second baseman, coming to the plate. So Kennick looking here for that run-tying RBI single. Now this is interesting. Hayden Jung playing right behind the second base bag. Now he'll kind of move back out. He lined up and kind of really just right behind second base at first, and I kind of thought maybe there was a kind of a shift on, but then Jung kind of moved back and into the regular positioning there as Kennick takes a big cut and came up empty. It's no balls and a strike here on Brock Kennick. DePasquale checks the runner at second and kicks and delivers. That pitch swung on and missed, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on Kennick. DePasquale was able to hit that inside corner. That's a tough pitch to hit because even if you do, you're typically going to just kind of roll that one to short. But it made an easy ground ball for Spencer Gleave. The 0-2 pitch, that one misses high with the fastball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 1-2 pitch about ready to come home. DePasquale kicks, comes home. That one's inside and tight, ball 2. And the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Parker DePasquale looking for that big final strikeout. DePasquale with 2 strikeouts on the night. And the 2-2 pitch, that one's high, tight, ball 3. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So DePasquale was actually ahead in the count. Now he worked his way back now to being down in the count. Great patience shown here in this at-bat by Brock Kennick. The 3-2 pitch on its way home. Swung on and missed, strike 3. The 3rd strikeout for Parker DePasquale. And the 2nd inning is over, but the Skyline Eagles do get 1 back. We head to the 3rd inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Bountiful 2, Skyline 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Clean up the Bountiful. The pitcher, number 8, Parker DePasquale.
Top half of the 3rd inning starting here at Brent Brown Ballpark as the first pitch to Parker DePasquale is taken high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes the count. DePasquale hit a home run back in the 1st inning, and that's the one of those 2 runs up for Bountiful as that one evens the count there with the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. A very busy day starting once again tomorrow. Throughout this week, it will be a very busy week, not just here, but also at Kearns as that one's in there for a called strike. The 5A tournament going up to Kearns, but today some rain kind of hit that Salt Lake area a little bit heavier. They had to postpone those final 2 games today, the West Jordan-Taylorsville game, and then also Northridge against Jordan. The 1-2 pitch misses low and away for a ball, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. They have updated the 5A brackets because they're going to have to kind of move some of those games around, not just play some of them at Kearns, but obviously they're going to have to use some other facilities as well. So they're going to also use Salt Lake Community College as the 2-2 pitch comes in. That one swung on by DePasquale, popped up. Coming in is the 2nd baseman, Kennick, who puts it away for the 1st out of the 3rd inning. They're going to use Salt Lake Community College for a site, and they're also, I believe, I was told, they're also going to use Brent Brown Ballpark here as well. So it's just kind of one of those things to keep an eye out on here as this 5A bracket gets ready to go. That one swung on and fouled away for TJ Bernard, and it's no balls and a strike. Bernard 1 for 1, had a single in his last at bat. The right-hander ready to go, and the Chapman kicks and delivers home. That pitch misses low and away for a ball, and the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. So it could be a very busy day tomorrow for baseball, making sure that baseball games and everything get up to date. The 1-1 pitch coming home, breaking ball, swung on and missed. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes here on TJ Bernard. So they have a 9 a.m. game that's going to be here at Brent Brown Ballpark. I'm also pulling it up here. It's just kind of coming up a little bit later here on one of those great devices that they have. Okay, I have it up now in front of me here, and I'll get everybody up to date here. Perfect. So tomorrow, some of those actions, they're going to start bright and early here. We weren't expecting to really start until about 11, but they've had to change some of those schedules here for tomorrow, and that one's going to be lined into center field, coming in strong, and it's going to hold up, but did he hold on? No, he did not, says first base umpire Trent Allred, and on is TJ Bernard. Coming in was Riley Hennings, trying to do everything he could to get there, and the ball just kind of fell out of his glove, and so that was kind of a hard opportunity there. But with 1 out, TJ Bernard reaches, and they're going to give the center fielder there. They're going to give Riley Hennings an error, and that could be kind of tough. And he's now shaken up in center field, so I'm assuming that his coach is probably going to end up going out there to check on him. And now his teammate Nick Scott comes over to take a look at him. It looks like we're good to go. So I'll update you on the schedule for tomorrow, and we'll make sure we do this one final time as well before we sign off tonight. Taylorsville West Jordan is going to be played at 9 a.m. That one's going to be played at Slick there at Kate Field, the home of the Salt Lake Community College Bruins, as the first pitch coming in, and that was going to be low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Brady Christensen. Christensen grounded out. Now, I believe they did get a couple of innings into that one, so that one's going to be at 9 o'clock. Jordan will play Northridge there at Salt Lake Community College. That's going to be at 11 a.m. The 1-0 pitch, a nice bunt laid down, but it's going to roll foul as Christensen just kind of put it a little bit too hard. So the winners of those 2 games aren't going to go anywhere else. They're going to stay at Salt Lake Community College, and they're going to play there at 1:30. So the winners of the Taylorsville West Jordan game and the Jordan Northridge game, they're going to play at 1:30. That will be just right there at Salt Lake Community College. So Salt Lake Community College is going to be used tomorrow as well. We got a 1-1 count here on Brady Christensen. The right-hander coming set and delivers home the 1-1 pitch. That one swung on, grounded in the hole. Diving and knocking the ball down is Yagi, but he's not going to have a play. Everybody's safe. And Bountiful's getting something going here in the third. They got a couple of men on. And with 1 out, it's going to be Sam Stringfellow. So Bingham today defeated Davis 11-1. American Fork had the walk-off win over Lehigh. So those 2 teams are going to play. They're going to play at 9 a.m. here at Brent Brown Ballpark at Utah Valley University. So all of a sudden now that kind of sets up tomorrow's schedule here at Utah Valley University as well, as the pitch to Stringfellow comes over for a called strike. And so that game will take place there, and then hopefully on Wednesday, everything else it looks like is on site tomorrow for Kearns. So Pleasant Grove Fremont at 4:30 at Kearns, Cottonwood Lone Peak 7 o'clock at Kearns. 0-1 pitch. Stringfellow lays down the bunt right out in front of home plate. The bobble and the throw is late, but they're going to get Stringfellow. So Sam Stringfellow moves the runners over on the sacrifice bunt. So a nice bunt there. Almost found a way to get on base as Caden Simmons will come to the plate. So I think I got everything with 5A covered. Everything here, like I said, we'll get that one more time for you before we sign off for tonight from Brent Brown Ballpark here in Orem. Because the reason why I say, and that one's hit very well and very deep. Sacalario will watch that one, and I think that completely cleared the fence. That left Brent Brown Ballpark entirely. A 3-run shot for Caden Simmons, and it is now going to be 5-1 Bountiful here in the third. There was no doubt about that one, and I think I see somebody climbing the fence that leaves Brent Brown Ballpark. That one completely left the ballpark. That might have even hit the, I don't know what to call it, but the big kind of pond out there in left center field. That might have gotten all the way out to the pond. That was an absolute blast. A 3-run shot there for Caden Simmons. It's 5-1 Bountiful, and I think we might have a pitching change here coming for Skyline, we'll have a pitching change. Sam Chapman's night is over. We'll take a break here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. 5-1 Bountiful here in the top of the 3rd inning from Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah.
Now pitching for Skyline, number 10 is Jake Dobecki. Coming in to catch is number 2, Brendan Lacey. Now batting for Bountiful, the 3rd baseman, number 19, Ben Fowler.
Top half of the 3rd inning, and Bountiful cashing in a 3-run homer, chases Sam Chapman as Jake Dobecki comes in to pitch, and his first pitch that he delivers is swung on and missed by Ben Fowers. Coming in to catch, it's going to be number 2, Brendan Lacey, will go in behind the plate. No balls and a strike here on Fowers. The kick and the delivery coming home. That pitch swung on and missed. It's no balls and 2 strikes the count here on Ben Fowers. Fowers walked back in the 2nd inning and got stranded out on second base. The 0-2 pitch, the kick and the delivery home is swung on and missed, strike 3, and the side is retired. So Dobecki comes in to get the final out of the inning, a strikeout, but the Bountiful Braves get a 3-run homer from Caden Simmons that puts the score Bountiful 5, Skyline 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the third inning, the Skyline Eagles all of a sudden find themselves trailing by 4, and they have some work to do as Dimitri Sacalario stands in to lead it off, and he swings at the first pitch, bounces it over to third, fielded cleanly. The throw from Fowers is in time for the first out of the third inning as the music plays through the batter here, and there's one out. I'm kind of surprised why Dimitri Sack, I've seen a couple other hitters here, not just in the 4A tournament today, but also in the 2A tournament, why they don't just call time and step out of the batter's box until that music is off. Or at least, let's put it this way, that's what I would have done. But with one out here, it's going to bring up Ange Bourgois. Bourgois hitting from the left side of the plate, and he lays down a bunt but fouls it away. Bourgois 0 for 1 on the day, flew out to left back in the first inning. No balls and 1 strike here on Bourgois. It will be Sacalario, Bourgois, and Yagi. 1, 2, and 3 coming up here in the third against Parker DePasquale. DePasquale comes in, and that one misses low for a ball, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. So hopefully tomorrow the weather will stay cooperative as the 5A tournament gets shifted around as the pitch misses away. 2 balls and a strike. That 9 a.m. game here, American Fork taking on Bingham. That one starting at 9 a.m. Stay tuned for that 4A schedule because that pitch is lined by Bourgois into left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Over to cut it off. Bourgois takes the turnaround first, and he will hold. And Bourgois is on with the 1-out single. The reason why I say stay tuned for that 4A schedule is because depending on how that game goes, it could kind of maybe shift things around a little bit, but hopefully everything will stay pretty good tomorrow. Hopefully the weather will cooperate as well as Abe Yagi stands in. Yagi's 1 for 1, had a single back in the first. DePasquale comes home. Yagi grounds that one to third. Fowers is going to go to second for 1. The relay turn to first is not going to be in time, and they're going to call Yagi out at second base as they're trying to say, Skyline's trying to say that the throw pulled Jung off the bag, but our base umpire, Trent Allred, not really having it right now. And the second out of the inning's recorded. And now we're going to have a explanation here given to, I believe that is going to be the Skyline head coach popping out of the third base dugout to just get an explanation there from Trent Allred. So Yagi reaches there on the fielder's choice, and with 2 outs, Riley Hennings is going to come to the plate. I can see going out and getting an explanation. The throw was high, and it did kind of pull Jung off the bag, but I think he did get that foot down before the turn happened. And so with 2 outs now, that's going to bring up Riley Hennings. Hennings 0 for 1, went down on strikes to end the first inning. DePasquale here working from the stretch and delivers home. That pitch swung on and fouled straight back, and it's 0-1. So 4 scheduled games at Brent Brown Ballpark tomorrow. Now it's 5 scheduled games. No balls and 1 strike. The pickoff move, and diving back safely was Yagi there. Yagi's on for the second time tonight. No balls and 1 strike to count. The right-hander DePasquale kicks and comes home. That ball blocked in the dirt, but Yagi's quickly going to go down to second base. Heads up base running, understanding that ball had kicked away from Simmons, and Yagi moves up to second base. So with 2 outs now, Skyline has a runner on at second base. Riley Hennings at the plate. Abe Yagi, the runner with good speed, probably scores on a base hit. The 1-1 pitch swung on, popped up. Down the line, coming over in right is Bernard. He's going to reach up, and he makes the catch to end the third inning. So Skyline gets the base runner on base on the base hit by Bourgois, but then they leave 1 at the end of 3 complete from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Bountiful 5, Skyline 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Bountiful, second baseman, number 29, Hayden John.
Top of the 4th inning, Hayden Jung stands in. The first pitch is going to be off the glove of Lacey to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes to count, as Jake Dobecki came in to face the final batter of the 3rd inning and got his first strikeout of the night. He'll now get Hayden Jung, Jaron Williams, and Spencer Gleave, 9-1 and 2 in the Bountiful lineup here in the 4th inning. 1 ball and no strikes to count. The right-hander Dobecki kicks and delivers home. The pitch swung on and fouled away by Jung, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to count. As the 4A tournament gets ready to go into high gear, more elimination games tomorrow. The 1-1 pitch on its way, and that one coming inside for a called strike, and it's 1-2. At the end of tomorrow, there will only be 2 teams without a loss in the 4A state tournament. There's 4 teams right now without a loss. Those 4 teams will all play tomorrow afternoon into the night, and then we will have only 2, which will play on, I want to say Thursday. The 1-2 pitch, that one swung on and fouled away. And we'll do another thing here. In fact, I'll look at my bracket here right in front of me and make sure that that is somewhat correct. Yeah, they'll play on Thursday in the 1-loss game. And that one comes inside and tight for a ball, and it count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Hayden Jung. The right-hander Dobecki getting set, ready to go from the windup. He kicks and delivers the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Jake Dobecki has 2 strikeouts on the night, back-to-back strikeouts, in fact. And there's 1 away in the 4th inning, and back to the top of the Bountiful lineup in Jaron Williams. Williams has popped out to first, struck out in the 2nd, and now he'll stand in here in the leadoff spot, try to get something going for Bountiful with 1 away. Working here, the right-hander on the mound, Jake Dobecki, started the game behind home plate, came in relief of Sam Chapman. The kick and the delivery on its way is swung on. That one's grounded right back up the middle. Dobecki tried to get it. He couldn't get there. And Jaron Williams is on with a 1-out single on a rocket that was hit right back up the box. There was no way there that the pitcher in that case, Dobecki, was going to be able to get to that. He tried to put the glove out there, even kind of dove for it in a sense, but just didn't, at the end of the day, just didn't quite get there. So with 1 out, it's going to be Spencer Gleave. Gleave stands in, the shortstop, 0 for 2, a ground out to 2nd and a strikeout on the day. And that ball is going to kick away from Lacey, and alertly taking and sliding into second base is Jaron Williams. So Williams with some heads-up base running there as the ball just kind of skipped far enough away from Brendan Lacey there that once that happened that he was going to have a hard time making the throw, and going to have a hard time with that kind of speed on the base pass and Jaron Williams and keeping him close. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Williams gets his lead at second base. Dobecki set on the mound, checks Williams at second. Kicks and comes home. That one inside and tight, and it hits Spencer Gleave, and Gleave will be awarded first base. And just like that, Bountiful's got something going again, and the man coming to the plate is a man that's done some damage already with the long ball. It's Parker DePasquale. DePasquale hit one that went out onto the left field berm back in the 1st inning, a solo shot, and then in the 4th he popped out to Kennick at second base. DePasquale stands in here from the right side. Runners on at 1st and 2nd, 1 away. Dobecki turns, steps off the mound, acts like he's going to throw to 2nd, but Williams able to get back. Good speed on the base pass, and Jaron Williams at 2nd, and Spencer Gleave running over at 1st. The pitch on its way. That one inside hits DePasquale, and the bases are loaded for Bountiful here, as they'll go pick up the baseball that ended up getting down the 3rd baseline, back-to-back hit by batters, and now TJ Bernard comes to the plate, and Bountiful with an opportunity here. DePasquale is going to not stay in the game and run. He's going to come out of the ball game, and typically you wouldn't be as concerned about that, but he's the starting pitcher, and where he got hit was kind of right in on the elbow. Now, it wasn't on his pitching elbow. It was on his glove elbow, but it's still not a, that elbow hurts when you get hit with a pitch, especially when you get a fastball coming 75 miles an hour. That hurts. TJ Bernard stands in. He's reached base twice, has a single and reached on an error. Base is full for Bountiful. The Braves can just open this one up big time here against Jake Dobecki and the Skyline Eagles. Ready to go. Dobecki on the mound will work from the windup here with the bases full. The kick and the delivery on its way, and that one's in there for a called strike, 0-1. Jaron Williams running on at third base. At second base, it's Spencer Gleave. Over at first, it's a speed-up runner. Not sure, I haven't been able to see the number, and it's no balls and a strike here on the hitter, and that one swung on and missed by Bernard, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Brady Christensen in the on-deck circle getting loose. A big opportunity here for Bountiful. The 0-2 pitch on its about to come home. Dobecki winds, kicks, and delivers the 0-2 pitch. That one misses away for a ball, and it's 1-2. And the courtesy runner over at first is, thought I saw 45, but that ball is going to be swung on, hit well out to left field. Slipping now, having to come in. Did he make the play? And they're going to say the ball fell. Coming in to score here is the runner. And so right there is now going to be a 6-1 ball game as the run comes in to score for the second out. In fact, no, they're going to say the ball didn't fall. It was a sacrifice fly. So a great play out there by Sacorelio to make the play. The RBI comes in as Jaron Williams. So a couple of runners on base now, and Brady Christensen to come up. So I guess from what could have happened there, you'll take it if you're Jake Dobecki. First pitch to Christensen. That one was inside and taken for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. The courtesy runners, number 9, Sam Perry, the runner over at first base. That's 1 ball and no strikes to count. The right-hander set, ready to go, and the 1-0 pitch on its way. That one inside and tight, but taken for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to count now on Brady Christensen. Christensen 1 for 2, had a single in his last at-bat coming in the third. 2 balls and a strike. It looks like the rain beginning to fall once again here at Brent Brown Ballpark, as that one misses inside ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Umbrellas are starting to come out. You're starting to see the cement start to get a little more wet again here. Not like, in the first game when it started raining, when all of a sudden you saw just this huge mass. Everybody sitting in the front row all of a sudden at the same time started moving, started heading for the cover. The 3-0 pitch on its way, and that pitch high and tight, ball 4. And Bountiful has the bases loaded again here with 2 outs for Sam Stringfellow. Sam Stringfellow is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt on the day. And his 1 official at bat, he went down on strikes. 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. 6-1, Bountiful on top. Dobecki, the right-hander, working here from the windup. Kicks and delivers home, and that one swung on and missed by Stringfellow. He took a big cut there and came up empty. No balls and a strike. As you can tell here, looking up into the lights, it's easier to see when it starts raining at night because you can kind of look up into the lights and you can see the rain coming down. The 0-1 pitch swung on by Stringfellow, grounded right to third. Fielding it cleanly is Bourgeois. He takes it to third, and the inning comes to an end. So Bountiful has the bases loaded, but they get 1 across. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, it's Bountiful 6, Skyline 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
3 runners left on base. Skyline, the pitcher, number 10, Jake Dobecki.
Bottom of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Skyline coming up. Middle part of their lineup, the pitcher Jake Dobecki to stand in and lead it off. Parker DePasquale, the right-hander, working here from the stretch, and he kicks and delivers the first pitch. That one's grounded deep in the hole, knocked down by Gleave. He's going to make the long throw in on a hop, and they got him at first base. Gleave had to go deep into the hole, backhand that, and then make a good throw across the diamond, and he did a throw that just kind of one-hopped into the glove for the first out of the 4th inning. That's an impressive play there by Spencer Gleave, as Nick Scott will come up. It helped that Gleave already plays a little more further in that hole. The first pitch to Nick Scott. That ball swung on and hit out into the gap. Coming over and running it down is Christensen. And there's 2 outs. So 2 pitches and 2 outs if you're Parker DePasquale and Bountiful. You'll take that anytime you can get it. Let's see if DePasquale here can go 3 for 3. Ryan Coleman stands in. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Went down swinging back in his lone at-bat of the day. DePasquale kicks and delivers the 0-1 pitch right on the outside corner, so he won't be 3 for 3, but the 0-1 pitch did get over for a strike. DePasquale kicks, comes home. That pitch high and tight. Count evens now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Winner of this gets Woods Cross tomorrow morning around 11 a.m. That pitch low for a ball, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I say around 11 a.m. because depending on the American Fork Bingham game that starts at 9, the schedule could kind of get moved around a little bit tomorrow. That pitch swung on and fouled away by Coleman, and we'll go to 2-2. So if you tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. and you don't see the Woods Cross game against the winner of this one, know that you're not in the wrong spot. You're in the right spot. The game just might not have started yet if it's tuned in right at 11. The 2-2 pitch misses ball 3, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, it's not, good to assume anything, but just be prepared if that happens. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. DePasquale kicks and comes home. Then that pitch is going to be swung on and chopped over to short. Gleave charges it, makes the throw on the run, and he got him. A good throw. That kind of Stringfellow kind of had to quickly hold his position, and he did at the end of 4 from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Bountiful 6, Skyline 1. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. The Bountiful Braves send up 7, 8, 9. Caden Simmons, Ben Fowers, and Hayden Jung up against the right-hander Jake Dobecki, who goes back to work here, trying to keep Bountiful off the scoreboard as the pitch comes inside high and tight. Turning out of the way of it is Simmons. Simmons has a single and came around to score, and then in his last at-bat in the 3rd, he had a 3-run homer that I'm pretty sure completely left Brent Brown Ballpark. The 1-0 pitch on its way. Simmons lines that one right to 3rd, and right at the right spot is Bourgois to make the play. And another hard hit ball, but this time hit right at somebody for the first out of the 5th inning.
Third baseman, number 19, Ben Fowers.
So here comes Ben Fowers. Fowers walked and then also went down on strikes back in the 3rd inning. Fowers was the first hitter that Dobecki faced, and Dobecki got him to end the inning as the first pitch comes over for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Pretty good rain shower coming down here at the ballpark right now. No balls and a strike. The kick and the delivery comes in. This one on the inside corner for a called strike. And it's no balls and 2 strikes on Ben Fowers. No balls and 2 strikes to count. The kick and the delivery on its way. That one's going to be swung on, grounded to short. Backhanding it, making a nice play. The throw, and they got him. An even better play there from Bourgois as he runs up the middle, gets there, does like a kind of a 180-360 throw to first, and he gets him just in the nick of time. I don't care who you're a fan of. That is an incredible play there by Bourgois. 2 outs for Hayden Jung. Jung walked and then also struck out back in the 4th. First pitch on its way to Jung, and that one's inside and actually behind him. Luckily that Jung was able to kind of lean forward and get out of the way of the pitch. 1 ball and no strikes to count. The right-hander sets, kicks, and delivers home. That pitch low and away for a ball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to count on Hayden Jung. Jung starting at second base for Bountiful tonight. The 2-0 pitch on its way home. That pitch low and away, ball 3. It's 3 balls and no strikes to count here on Hayden Jung. For this game to be considered an official game, we do have to complete the 5th inning. More umbrellas starting to come out here at the ballpark. And the 3-0 pitch about to come in, and that's a fastball down the middle for a called strike, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch about to come home, and that one misses low, ball 4, and with 2 outs, drawing the walk is Hayden Jung. So a 2-out walk brings us back to the top of the lineup, and Jaron Williams. Williams singled in the 4th inning and then found a way to come around to score. As he'll take a look down to Coach Clark Stringfellow down in the 3rd base coaching box. As Williams gets ready to stand in. 2 away here in the inning. The pickoff move, diving back safely over to first is Hayden Jung. 6-1 Bountiful here in the top of the 5th inning. Dobecki comes home, the pitch out misses away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Jaron Williams. Williams a fly out, a strikeout, and a single and a run scored. No balls and a strike to count. Williams will quickly step out of the box and will take another look down into his 3rd base coaching box here. Now he'll stand back in. Running over at first base is Hayden Jung. Working from the stretch, Dobecki comes home with it. That ball's gonna be swung on, hit beautifully into the right side. Taking the turn and heading to 3rd is Jung. He will get there, and Bountiful with 2 outs has runners on the corners. I don't think if you're gonna play hit and run baseball, I don't think you could have asked for it in any better way there. The runner goes. The second baseman, Kennick, has to come over to cover the bag, and when that happens, the ball just goes right off into right field for the base hit. And with 2 outs now, that's going to bring up Spencer Gleave. Gleave a ground out, a strikeout. He's also been hit by a pitch on the afternoon. Or I guess I should say on the night, since this game started just before 8 o'clock. And now coming out and giving some defensive alignment is Brendan Lacey behind home plate for Skyline. Runners on the corners. Wouldn't be surprised if Jaron Williams here with 2 outs maybe tries to take second base. Spencer Gleave at the plate and the step over to 3rd and then look back to first, which I never really understood the point, but I guess And I know I've said in a couple of the 2A broadcasts, I guess it must still be around. There's a high fly ball into left field, coming in, getting under it, and making the play out there is Sacalario to end the inning. So we head to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. The Skyline Eagles have some work to do. They're going to need to do it against Parker DePasquale. We'll find out if Skyline's up to the task after the break. It's 6-1 Bountiful here in the bottom of the 6th inning on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Clean up the Skyline. Designated hitter, 00 Hunter Wax.
Bottom of the 5th inning right now as Parker DePasquale gets ready to go back to work here. As it will be Hunter Wack, Brock Kennick, and Dimitri Sacalario coming up here. And we're going to have time called right now. And Parker DePasquale takes a step off the mound as I'm not sure exactly what's going on out there, but as the rain continues to come down a little bit harder here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and now the other umpire, I see the base umpire wasn't on the field. He was back in the clubhouse, and so I think they were telling him, hey, we need to wait for the other umpire, and now they're ready to go. So bottom of the 5th inning, 6-1 Bountiful on top. We are about 2.5 innings or so away from this one being in the books. Rain continues to come down. 8-9-1 for Skyline coming up against Parker DePasquale. DePasquale, the right-hander on the mound, set, ready to go. And the kick and the delivery on its way. Swung on and missed by Hunter Wack, and it's no balls and a strike. Wack so far on the night, 0 for 1, had a high pop-up to Spencer Gleave back in the 2nd inning. No balls and a strike to count. DePasquale sets, kicks, and delivers home. That ball's going to be bounced up the middle. Coming over and fielding it, kind of bobbling the baseball, and not going to get Wack there on the air was Hayden Jung. So Jung tried to get over there, and you have to kind of wonder that field probably getting maybe a little slippery at times, and Hayden Jung just kind of misplayed the baseball there. I don't see that being anything other than an error, although it hasn't gone up officially yet, and it just did. So it will be an error against the second baseman, Jung. And now Brock Kennick will come to the plate. Kennick 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He's going to lay a bunt down, and that's going to go foul. Now, had that stayed fair, that would have been a base hit, as it Ben Fowers at third base kind of overran the baseball, and when he did that, it went right past him. No balls and a strike to count here on Brock Kennick. Kennick has, so far, it's had a pretty decent ball game defensively. That pitch here, Kennick shows bunt, pulls it back, takes it low for a ball, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck, it's the top of the lineup and Dimitri Sacalario. Showing bunt is Kennick. He pulls it back and takes this one low, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and a strike. So DePasquale just missing enough here and missing enough there, as it's 2 balls and a strike. As it looks like guy with a poncho down in the maintenance area. That pitch is going to be swung on and fouled back as it's 2-2. It will be interesting to see now, because since they committed to a 9 a.m. game here, if for some reason this game couldn't get in, I don't know if everyone's coming back at like 7 a.m. or how they would do it. As I know that's not the hope of many of the people that I'm with here tonight, as that pitch is low, ball 3. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the count goes full here to Kennick. It can make it a really long day for everyone here at the ballpark. The 3-2 pitch misses, high ball 4. And Skyline has a couple of men on as they look to try to get something going here with nobody out. And now that's going to bring up the top of the lineup and Dimitri Sacalario. Sacalario's 0 for 2. He flew out to center field and also grounded out to third. They'll run a... Right now, they're having to keep the baseballs dry in the dugout with a towel. So one of the players for Skyline ran out there with a towel trying to make sure they keep that baseball dry. I do kind of wonder how long they're going to let him play in the rain like this, but we'll find out. Sacalario shows the bunt, fouls it away. Is it a pretty nice rain shower coming down here as no balls and a strike. Parker DePasquale on the mound. Of course, I believe it is after 5 innings. I know in a 9-inning game, after 5 innings, it does become an official game. So that would be, I guess, another option in this case. They could just call it a rain-shortened game for scheduling purposes, although 0-1 pitch is high for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike here on Dimitri Sacalario. Sacalario hitting from the right side has flown out and grounded out so far on the night. And the 1-1 pitch shows bunt, pulls it back, takes it away for a ball. It's 2 balls and a strike. The count on Dimitri Sacalario. Runners get their lead out on second base and at first base. The runners not being held on. The 2-1 pitch, bunt laid down right out in front of home plate. It dies perfectly. DePasquale's throw wasn't in time. Everyone's safe. Skyline loads the bases and DePasquale is pleading his case. Clark Stringfellow going to come out of the dugout here. And the bases are full here as everybody kind of wanting an explanation here, and I think with their 2 base umpires, I'm not sure what the complaint is, if it was an interference thing or what, but Sacalario laid down a good bunt right out in front of home plate, and we'll have a conversation here between the umpires, and whatever it is, it looks like it's going to stay the same. Bountiful's not happy. Parker DePasquale on the mound is pleading his case. Clark Stringfellow now pleading his case. Parker DePasquale immediately went to the umpire and immediately started pleading his case. You could tell the frustration there. And that's just kind of one of those things. Now Clark Stringfellow kind of pleading his case with our home plate umpire tonight. But this is one of those situations, if you're Bountiful, where you only control so much of the ball game, and you have to control what you can. Clark Stringfellow really upset here pleading his case, and now he's going to go out, and I think he's going out to talk to Parker DePasquale here. I think it's either that or he's going to go out and he's going to have a quick word with Trent Allred here out at second base as they get ready here. It looks like they're talking something about, I can't see if he's pointing to the mound or something, if he's trying to say because the infield's getting wet or something, it prohibited the play, but now we're going to have a visit out on the mound as right now Clark Stringfellow going to have a conversation. Anyway, at the end of the day, the bases are loaded full of Eagles. Bases are loaded. Bourgois coming to the plate. Bourgois had a double down the line, and some chatter looks like coming from the Bountiful dugout because our home plate umpire warning them, saying, hey, I don't want to hear it. And one of those things when frustrations happen, especially you talk about the high emotion. This is an elimination game. You lose, your season's over, and you just want to make sure here that everything happens as now Clark Stringfellow getting, I think, being told, hey, make sure your dugout stays calm here. 6-1 Bountiful here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Rain continues to come down. It looks like it's coming down probably even a little bit harder than it has been. I just got the conferential nod here that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. Bourgois stands in the box and misses away with the fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Bourgois flew out to left field and also had a single back in the 3rd on a hard hit ball down the left field line. This is Skyline's big opportunity to try to get back in this ball game. The 1-0 pitch is high for ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Coming in at third base, Ben Fowers, just to kind of tell Parker DePasquale, hey, don't worry, we got your back. Just focus on throwing strikes. Two balls and no strikes. The pitch on its way, swung on and missed. It's 2 balls and a strike, as coming through it was Bourgois, and he just swung right through it. Bases full of Skyline Eagles. Nobody out. The 2-1 pitch misses ball 3. It's 3 balls and a strike to Bourgois. This is a golden opportunity. You got the tying run in the on-deck circle and Abe Yagi. 3 balls and a strike. DePasquale kicks and comes home. That pitch high, ball 4, and DePasquale will walk in a run. It's 6-2. A walk for Bourgois, base is still loaded, and Abe Yagi's coming to the plate. And now we're going to have a quick conference here from our umpires, and I kind of wonder if they might be talking about the rain in that, of talking about not continuing this ballgame. Parker DePasquale's already taken a step off the mound. He's standing over there, and they're going to send everybody off the field. So the umpires are going to call it at least into a rain delays. I credit Skyline. Their players quickly came sprinting out of the dugout, and they're going to tarp the field. They're not even going to wait. They're just going to tarp it, which is the right move in this case with the rain coming down. So I'm going to take a break here, at least step off until we know more information. We're in a rain delay here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Bottom of the 5th inning. It's 6-2 Bountiful, and the bases are loaded to Braves right here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Good evening to everybody. Once again from Brent Brown Ballpark here in Orem, Utah, as we get ready to go for the continuation of this ball game. Bountiful leading 6-2. Parker DePasquale will head back out onto the mound, where he will begin to get loose after a rain delay that went what seems to be probably a little bit over an hour or so. Maybe even an hour and a half here at Brent Brown Ballpark. But at 5 minutes to 11, we are just about set, ready to play baseball here. Bountiful is going to be getting ready here. Parker DePasquale will start again, and he will get loose. Now, just to kind of reset the situation for you, we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's nobody out. Skyline had started the inning off with Hunter Wack reaching on an error, and then Brock Kinnick walked. Dimitri Sekelaru would then single, and then Bourgois just walked in, and that's brought home Hunter Wack. So Skyline's down by 4. It's 6-2 in favor of Bountiful, and right now Skyline still has the bases loaded, and Abe Yagi is going to be coming to the plate. And so it should be a very interesting situation here with Abe Yagi coming to the plate. The runners for Skyline will get to their base paths here, and we are just about set, ready to go for baseball once again. The warm-up tosses have been completed. The momentum has went to Skyline here. The Eagles trying to find their way back in this ballgame. The tying run at home plate. We're about set, ready to go for baseball. Abe Yagi stands in the box. Parker DePasquale is set, ready to go on the mound. From the stretch, the right-hander kicks and comes home, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled away off the catcher's mask of Simmons, and it's no balls and a strike. Skyline in the all-white tops and the white pants. Bountiful in the red tops and the gray pants. We have no rain right now coming down at all. It is a nice, clear night for baseball. Try to get these last 2.5 innings in, and everybody can get home because the winner of this one has an 11 a.m. game. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed, and it's 0-2 on Abe Yagi. Parker DePasquale goes back to work. Riley Henning's in the on-deck circle for Skyline. No balls and 2 strikes the count. DePasquale sets, kicks, and comes home. That pitch high for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Runners get their lead. The 1-2 pitch on the way. DePasquale, that one's popped up behind home plate. DePasquale's going to take it himself, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. So 1 out for Riley Hennings. Hennings has struck out on the night and also flown out to right field. Hennings will step in wearing number 12. Runners on, bases are full. DePasquale sets, kicks, and comes home. And the first pitch in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to count on Hennings. The 0-1 pitch coming home. Hennings swings and hits that one out into deep right center field. Going back, getting under, reaching up, and he didn't hold on. No, he said they're gonna say he held on in right field. Tagging and coming in to score from third base is Kennick. Sakelaru moves down to third base, and now there's 2 outs in the inning, and it is a 6-3 ball game. So 2 outs in the inning, and now Bountiful, it looks like, appealed the second, and they're saying that he waited in time. So with 2 outs, Jake DeBecke is going to come to the plate. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. 6-3 ball game. DeBecke coming to the plate. Jake DeBecke doubled and scored and also grounded out back in the 4th. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike. And it's no balls and a strike on Jake DeBecke. Sakelaru, the runner at third base. Over at first, it's Bourgeois. That one swung on and fouled right up above us. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Bountiful 6, Skyline 3. Winner gets an 11 a.m. game against the Woods Cross Wildcats. That would be here at Brent Brown Ballpark. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Working from the stretch. The pitch on its way. A fastball. It sits high. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Jake DeBecke. Nick Scott in the on-deck circle for Skyline. Runners get their lead. DePasquale sets, comes home. There's a called strike 3, and the inning is over. Parker DePasquale comes up with the big strikeout, comes in, bases loaded, nobody's out, and he shuts the door here in the inning on Skyline. But the Eagles do get 2 at the end of 5 from Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem. It's Bountiful 6, Skyline 3. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament here on KSL.com and DesretNews.com. Top of the 6th inning here. The Bountiful Braves coming up. Not the top of the lineup. Parker De Pasquale stands in to lead it off against Jake Dubecki in the first pitch. Low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. About a little over 3 hours ago, Parker De Pasquale put one up onto the left field berm to give Bountiful an early 1-0 lead. That was a home run that came back in the first inning. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Dubecki kicks and delivers home. That pitch swung on, and that's going to be chopped right back to the mound. Dubecki's there. His throw to first in time for the first out here in the 6th inning. So 1 away, TJ Bernard's going to come to the plate. Bernard had a single back in the first, reached on an error, and then back in the 4th had a sacrifice fly. They got the 1-run home for the Bountiful Braves. Bernard stands in here from the left side. Dubecki set, ready to go, and he kicks and comes home with the pitch. That one's going to be swung on, grounded to second base. Fielded cleanly, the throw to first in time for the second out of the inning. So with 2 outs, Brady Christensen will come to the plate. Christensen's grounded out, singled, and he walked. Christensen will stand in from the right side. He's been playing center field tonight. And the first pitch on its way. That one misses away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. As we play baseball late into the night here in Orem. It's not even, an extra inning game or anything like that. It was just nice rain delay. The 1-0 pitch misses low and away for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Christensen will take a step out, and now he'll step back in. He'll get the 2-ball, no strike count. The right-hander Dubecki kicks and comes home with the delivery. That one low and away, ball 3, and the count moves to 3 balls and no strikes here on Brady Christensen. It's Sam Stringfellow in the on-deck circle for Bountiful. If the inning should continue, the 3-ball, no strike count. The wind, the kick, and the delivery, and that one in there at the knees for a called strike. It's 3 balls and a strike here on Stringfellow. Brady Christensen. Stringfellow's on deck. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. The right-hander, Dubecki, comes home. 3-1 fastball swung on and hit out to right field. Coming in is Scott. He's there. He'll make the play. And the 6th inning is over for the Bountiful Braves. The Skyline Eagles have some work to do. They're down to 6 outs. They need 3 runs. We'll see if they can chip into that in the bottom of the 6th inning. Skyline Eagles come up after the break here on DeseretNews.com and KSL.com. Bottom of the 6th inning, first pitch lined right at second base, and there to make the play is Jung for the first out of the inning. That was a pretty hard hit ball off the bat of Nick Scott, but just lined right at somebody for the first out of the 6th inning. And here comes Ryan Coleman, the first baseman. Coleman 0 for 2. He struck out and also grounded out to short on the night. De Pasquale sets, delivers home, and that first pitch is lined to center field. Coming in strong and diving and making the catch is Brady Christensen for the second out of the inning. Brady Christensen came running in center field and just fully lays out for it, and when he did, he was able to come up with the catch. So with 2 outs, it's going to bring up Hunter Wack to the plate. Wack has popped out to Spencer Gleave at short, and then he also reached on an error and came around to score one of the 2 runs last inning. First pitch in there at the knees for the called strike, and it's no balls and a strike here to Whack. No balls and 1 strike to count. Deep is Squally here, working from the stretch. Takes a look in, kicks and delivers the 0-1 pitch. That one stays high for a ball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to count here on Hunter Whack. Play begins early tomorrow morning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. As far as we still know, 9 o'clock start, American Fork and Bingham. The 1-1 pitch, that one low for a ball. It's 2 balls and a strike. That will be a 5A game. And then the Woods Cross Wildcats take on the winner of this one. That one should start following that one. Scheduled tentatively for an 11 a.m. first pitch. The 2-1 pitch, the delivery comes home. That ball swung on by Whack, hit out into right center field. Christensen coming in. He dives, but he can't come up with it. It's going to roll out there into deep left center field. Whack's going to put the brakes on at second base, and a 2-out double is Hunter Whack here. He's aboard, and now that's going to bring up Brock Kinnick. Christensen there in a very interesting position, because if he just fields that on a hop, maybe it holds Whack to a single, but there he tries the diving attempt. And one of those situations where the rain really that came down probably did affect that ball from getting all the way out to the outfield, or all the way to like the wall or the warning track. Here's Hunter Kinnick, and the first pitch is in there for a called strike. Brock Kinnick, and the first pitch is over for a called strike, 0-1. Kinnick went down on strikes and then also walked and came around to score. The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled back, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes to count here on Kinnick. Parker DePasquale has gone to work here after even dealing with the hour delay. Didn't even really see him throw very many pitches to warm up. Never saw him go down to the bullpen and get loose. Of course, the bullpens were one of the last areas where they uncovered, as they're going to appeal the base umpire, and he didn't go, says base umpire Trent Allred. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Brock Kinnick. Runner gets his lead out on second base is Hunter Whack. DePasquale works from the stretch. Checks the runner at second, kicks and delivers the 1-2. That one's high for a ball too. Quickly, Simmons acted like he might try to throw down to second base, but he decided not to. No one was covering the bag, so could have been disastrous had he thrown that ball. It could have gotten easily into center field. The 2-2 pitch on its way, breaking ball called, strike 3. DePasquale gets the strikeout. Kinnick is not thrilled, and that ends the 6th inning. So we head to the 7th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's the Bountiful Braves 6 and the Skyline Eagles 3. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top of the 7th inning starting here at Brent Brown Ballpark as we play to the 7th inning here as Bountiful comes up. Ryan Stringfellow, Caden Simmons, and Ben Fowers, 6, 7, and 8. Stringfellow on the day has a strikeout, a sacrifice, and also a ground out to first. And the first pitch he sees is low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes to count. One ball, no strikes to count on Stringfellow. DeBecke winds, kicks, and comes home, and that pitch is going to be swung on, hit pretty well out to right. Coming in, though, getting there is Scott. He'll make the play for the first out here of the 7th inning on a fly ball to the outfield. So 1 away Both pitchers have come in, worked pretty quick, have tried to, I think, just kind of move the pace along of this one. And hitters are going up there swinging at a lot of first pitches. And, you know, I can see that strategy in a sense because you have these pitchers who sat around for over an hour. They're likely to leave some good pitches and likely to probably be throwing a lot more fastballs than typical. First pitch to Caden Simmons is low and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Simmons has a single, hit a 3-run homer back in the 3rd inning, and then hit a hard ball right at the third baseman, Bourgeois, back in his last at-bat. And there he check swings, but he holds up, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Dubecki, the right-hander, looks in, gets the sign. The 2-0 pitch, the wind and the delivery is low, ball 3, and the count moves to 3 balls and no strikes on Caden Simmons. The 3-0 pitch, Dubecki will come set, will wind and deliver home the 3-0 pitch. A called strike. Caden Simmons was heading down to first, and then the strike came from the home plate umpire. So it's 3 balls and a strike. So a good hitter's count here for Caden Simmons. Should see a good fastball here. Should see something good to hit. The 3-1 pitch, Dubecki kicks and comes home, and that pitch swung on and fouled away. And it will stay in the ballpark as it will go down to the deepest part down there by the bullpen, and the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. They'll call time while Bountiful goes and gets the baseball. In fact, Nick Scott went down into that right field corner and he got the baseball, and now Scott will make his way back out onto the playing field. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. And the kick and the delivery by Dubecki is inside corner, called strike 3. Just completely froze him. And Caden Simmons again thought that one was inside and started heading towards the first base bag and then got rung up. So with 2 outs, it's going to bring up Ben Fowers. Fowers walked in the second, struck out in the 3rd, grounded out later on in the game in his last at-bat that came in the 5th inning. First pitch on its way, swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. Bountiful was up to bat when the rain really started to come down a little over about a couple hours ago now. The 0-1 pitch on its way, and that one misses low and away for a ball. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Thunderstorms in the forecast for tomorrow with some rain, so keep your eye on the weather. If you're heading out to the ballpark, I would suggest a jacket as well. I would not do what I did tonight and not bring a jacket to the ballpark. 1-1 pitch. That one swung on and hit foul. It's going to 1-hop and go to the wall. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count here on Ben Fowers. One ball, 2 strikes, the count. Dubecki set, ready to go on the mound. Kicks and comes home. And that ball is going to be swung on, grounded to 3rd. Fielded cleanly, the throw across the diamonds in time, and we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Skyline Eagles need 3 to tie and 4 to keep their season alive. We'll see if Skyline has it in them after the break. It's Bountiful 6, Skyline 3. You're watching the 2015 Class 4A State Baseball Tournament. It's an elimination game at Brent Brown Ballpark on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom of the 7th inning, starting here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The last chance here for the Skyline Eagles. Top of their lineup as Dimitri Sacalario will step up. It will be Sacalario, Bourgeois, and Yagi. Top of the lineup coming up. Here's Sacalario standing in, and the first pitch from Di Pasquale is high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. The Bountiful Braves are 3 outs away from getting an opportunity to face Woods Cross. The pitch right on the outside corner. It's 2 balls and no strikes to count on Sacalario. 2-0 pitch, kicks, Di Pasquale comes in, and there's a fastball in there at the knees for a called strike. It's 2 balls and a strike. Opportunity to keep your season alive, but you still have an elimination game the rest of the way. The 2-1 pitch. That one swung on, popped up on the infield. Into maybe shallow center field. Coming in, Brady Christensen. He'll make the play in shallow center field for the first out of the 7th inning. So with 1 out, it will be Ange Bourgeois coming to the plate. Bourgeois on the day has flown out to left, singled, and then had an RBI walk in the 5th inning when that rain really started to come down. Bourgeois was the last batter to hit before we went into the delay. Di Pasquale comes in, and that one misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. One ball, no strikes to count. Di Pasquale sets, kicks and delivers. That one misses away. Ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Bourgeois. Abiagi in the on-deck circle. Di Pasquale sets, comes in, and that one sits right on the inside corner for a called strike. It's 2 balls and a strike here on the number 2 hole hitter for the Skyline Eagles. Trying to just get something on. Trying to find a way to extend the ball game if you're Skyline. The 2-1 pitch. That one swung on, grounded back up the middle into center field for a base hit. A 1-out single, and that's how it all starts here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Skyline Eagles. Abe Yagi's going to come to the plate here with 1 out. Yagi has a single, a fielder's choice, and in his last at-bat back in the 5th inning, he was the first hitter to hit after the rain delay, and he popped out to the pitcher, Parker Di Pasquale. So 1 out here, bottom of the 7th inning. Skyline has the tying run in the on-deck circle, but they're going to need to string together some hits to try in order to tie the game. Di Pasquale comes in, that one swung on and fouled away. No balls and a strike. Quickly throwing his hands up, letting everybody know it was foul tipped, was our home plate umpire, Joe Sisson. Riley Hennings in the on-deck circle, scheduled to hit here in the inning. The 0-1 pitch comes inside and tight for a ball, and the count evens up at 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Di Pasquale set, ready to go again. This one misses low and away, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Di Pasquale not wasting any time, getting that baseball, stepping right back on the mound, coming set, and then he'll be ready to go. The 2-1 pitch on its way. That one misses away, ball 3, and it's 3 balls and a strike here to Abe Yagi. No action in the Bountiful bullpen. They're sticking with Di Pasquale. The 3-1 pitch on its way home. That one swung on and rolled foul down into the bullpen, down into the Skyline bullpen, and it will be even the count up now. 3 balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out. We won't even the count up, but we'll make the count go full, I should say. The 3-2 pitch on its way home. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove. Strike 3, and Skyline's down to their final out. With 2 outs, Riley Hennings will come to the plate. Hennings with a strikeout, a fly out to right, and his last at bat, a clutch sacrifice fly that brought home a run. Hennings set, ready to go. Di Pasquale kicks and delivers the first pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. The count. Di Pasquale working from the stretch. Looks in and gets the sign. The 0-1 pitch on its way home. Swung on and foul straight back. It's 0-2 here on Riley Hennings. Parker Di Pasquale steps back on the mound. Bountiful 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchup tomorrow. 1 strike away from a Region 6 matchu with the Woods Cross Wildcats. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and popped up foul, and we'll do another 0-2. Hennings will take a look over into his third base dugout. At this point, he'll take a hit. Anything that can make this ball game move along to that next batter. Jake DeBecke in the on-deck circle. The 0-2 pitch. That one's hit hard right to second. Fielded cleanly, the throw to first. In time, and the ball game is over. The Bountiful Braves have eliminated the Skyline Eagles here from the state tournament in Orem, Utah. The final score, the Bountiful Braves 6 and the Skyline Eagles 3, a game in which was separated with rain and everything like that throughout. So Bountiful beat Skyline 6-3. Remember, we start bright and early tomorrow, 9 a.m. here from Brent Brown Ballpark. It will be Bingham taking on American Fork. Woods Cross meets Bountiful at 11. Maple Mountain will play at 1:30, and the Golden Eagles will get the Orem Tigers at 1:30. And then later on, Mountain Crest takes on Spanish Fork. That's a 4:30 first pitch. And Timpanogos takes on Salem Hills. That's a 7 o'clock first pitch. More than welcome to come out to Brent Brown Ballpark and catch out those games. If not, they'll be here on live.ksl, ksl.com, and also the DeseretNews.com. For our entire crew here at Brent Brown Ballpark, I'm Ryan Pickens saying so long, have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow here on ksl.com and DeseretNews.com.